Welcome to the FitZen Project. The world teaches you to hustle harder, and I'm here to help you stop outsourcing yourself and start leading from within. I'm Rachel Fitzpatrick, and around here, alignment is the new hustle because you are your most important project. Hi guys, welcome back to the FitZen Project, where alignment is the new hustle. I'm Rachel Fitzpatrick, and I'm going to be solo today, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm really enjoying this solo conversation that I've been having with you guys, and mainly it's because I'm really excited about this alignment is the new hustle. Hustle. All right, so let me tell you, this is today's little drop, okay? I went to the chiropractor last week, and I was laying on their table, and the bar goes up and down, and it hit my mid back, and it was like a shock to my system. My feet came up off that table, and I was like, oh, whoa, what is that? I've never felt this before. I was actually in the chiropractor because my neck has been so stiff and I couldn't turn left and right and all the things. And I knew I needed my monthly crack, right? Literally, he cracks my bones. So go in there, see him, tell him about what's going on, what happened just 2 seconds ago in the therapy room on the table, right before he pops my bones. And he was like, well, Rachel, the mid back pain is often associated with stress. So naturally I asked him, I'm like, well, what am I stressed about? And he's like, wrong doctor. I'm like, oh yes, that's right. Chiropractor's not going to know what I'm stressed about. He's just going to be able to pop my bones back to not being stressed. So as a true Rachel thing to do, I got extremely obsessed with what am I stressed about? So I started looking for every explanation in the books, like maybe it was hormones, or I just got my blood work done and I don't know the outcome of that yet. And that was just also last week. So that was the thing. But I did also just get a new mattress, but I've been having the best sleep of my life. Or maybe it's because I'm lifting heavier now and at the gym, or I don't really know. I really don't even know. I just kept trying to explain all these symptoms, and I hadn't answered the question. But really, when I thought about it, I thought about my hormones, thought about the weight and all of the things going on, I don't think that those were stupid guesses or anything like that. But I don't think that was the real question, is why is my back hurt? Why is it stressed out? Because I think the real question that I needed to ask was, what season of life am I actually in right now? And not necessarily diagnose my body, but what really needed my attention was, what season of life am I in? Because for 2 years, I've lived in a season of anticipation, and then one day it ended, and nobody has prepped me for this phase that I'm currently in, because we all do this. We all treat our symptoms instead of investigate the season of life that we're in. And that's what I really want to hone in on. This alignment is the new hustle, and how this other side of the mountain affects us just as much as building up in the anticipation of getting to the top. So when I got home and I'm still moody, and I couldn't let that die, I just had to keep asking, well, what is actually bothering me? And then it hit me plain as day. I just got married. Oof. I just got married. Okay. And everyone is oh, are you still in your honeymoon phase? Or it's the happiest time. It's got to be the best season. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get this twisted. I fucking love my husband and this life we've got. Our wedding was the most magical thing in the whole entire world. Like, it was the best day of my life to have my son and my husband and my whole family there and his family. Like, we're familying now together. You know, we went to Colorado to get married. We went to Iceland on our honeymoon. Like, marrying Josh isn't the problem. And I want to make that very clear. And marriage isn't really an issue either. I want to make that very clear as well. I think the issue is that I don't have another mountain right now. The issue is that I was in anticipation for 2 years and dreaming and like, what can this be? Like, how magical can I make this feel? Like, what is this? I was vision casting for 2 years on this special, momentous time of my life. And then I had it. And now, what am I doing? You know? Like, I saved money, I planned the wedding, I had the guest list, I had the dress, I had the venue and the flights and blah, 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 and all of that and everything. And now I'm back to ordinary. Just another Monday, another load of laundry, another dinner, and this ordinary life that I really, really wanted. And like, now what to do with it all. You know, Michael Phelps, he says this about being an Olympic swimmer. You know, he tells his story in his book, and, you know, he trained for years, and every single day had a purpose. And he woke up and he would swim and he would recover and repeat. And then he'd go get his golden medal. And once he got that and was done, then what? Right? Like, what happens when the thing you've organized your life around ends? You know? I think we feel this all throughout life. Like, there are a bunch of different milestones, not just getting married or winning an Olympic gold medal, which I haven't done yet. Can't take it off of the table because, you know, I'm not dead, and you never know what kind of things I might try to get. I don't know. Anyway, back to this. But there's like graduation things and weddings and launching businesses and writing a book and starting a podcast, you know, or losing 100 pounds, retirement, maybe even like cancer remission or kids leaving your house, like empty nesters. You know, nobody teaches us what to do after we've accomplished the wonderful things. And like, we finally get there and we think we're going to feel this new sense of peace or worthiness or happiness or enoughness. And I think we're mistaking that these goals and these things are going to provide us this new identity. That's the mistake. And it's not that we're getting a new identity. It's just that we've completed the goal. The purpose of the goal was to give us the direction and build the discipline to get there and create the memories, the beautiful memories. But they don't answer, who are you? You know? I personally feel like I've spent years chasing. I'm really, really good at chasing. You know, I'm really good at climbing these mountains and getting to the top and be like, yes, I did it. And then I'm really, really good at creating another mountain and getting up there and get to the top and everything else. But what I've not really mastered yet is how to just arrive and be. Yeah, I think that's my pitfall, my personal pitfall is like I just don't know how to arrive and just be. You know, like last week's episode, for example, was like how I thought alignment was how much we can climb, right? And I've also learned that alignment is how we rest. So, like this new place and this place that I'm at personally, even just today and speaking, like how do I sit with myself without having a major milestone, a life milestone to plan? And can I enjoy just a Tuesday and stop earning a worth or planning for 5 minutes, you know? I'm really trying. I'm gonna give it my best grade A effort, and I think that's the the best thing I can possibly do is just I know now, I'm aware, and I've acknowledged it, and then it's like, now I need to act on it and sit with it and be with myself for just a little bit before I can plan the next thing. Because, like, I think hustle has tricked us into this belief system that life only exists for anticipation. And I've bought into that like for almost 40 years now. But, like anticipation for a vacation or retirement or Friday or the promotion or Christmas or your birthday, always the next thing, always what else is there? How much more fun can we have? And I teach to that and I love living that way. But what if life is actually happening right now in this exact present moment? Right now. And that's the thing that I'm learning with you right now. Right this exact moment. But one thing's for sure, I'm really, really, really grateful that that pain interrupted me long enough to ask better questions, right? Because maybe the body isn't really trying to tell you what's wrong, but it's just simply asking you to pay attention, right? I teach that in my yoga classes every single week to listen to the body and pay attention to what it's saying. And like goals, they're always going to come and go. That's a fact. And mountains will always appear. But if you can only feel alive while you're climbing, then you'll miss the life waiting for you in the valley. And that's where I'm at right now. Trying not to miss the life in the valley that I'm currently in. And I have to remind myself that instead, discovering that sometimes the healthiest thing that I can do isn't to add another mountain to climb. But the healthiest thing that I can do is stop long enough to ask whether or not my inner world has caught up with my outer accomplishments. And that's a big question. My inner world, has it caught up with my outer accomplishments? And then once I can reconcile, I can reset, recalibrate, and move on as the better version of me in this exact present moment. So I'm really happy for the pain in my back. I'm really happy that the chiropractor is just a chiropractor and not a stress therapist. That was also really great. And another wonderful reminder of how alignment is the new hustle. Before you head out, I want to leave you with one question. What season of life are you actually in? Not the season you're planning for or the one that you wish you were in, but the one that you're living right now. Because maybe the most important work you'll ever do isn't climbing the mountain. It's learning how to live in the valley without rushing to escape it. And if this conversation is the kind of conversation you need more of, I'd love to keep it going. So every week I send one email, just one, where I share stories and reflections and questions that don't always make it to my podcast. So think of it as a conversation that gets to continue after the episode ends. But you can join that if you'd love to at the FitZenProject.com or in the show notes here. So if you know someone else who is standing in between their mountains right now, go ahead and send this episode to them. Because sometimes the reminder that we need is that we're not in this alone. So until next time, remember, you are your most important project. Take care, friends.